They're easy to make and even easier to break. I'm talking New Year's resolutions, and Aussies are keener than ever for a fresh start, with more than 15 million Australians reportedly setting a New Year's resolution for the year. We'll count down the top 10 using data from a recently conducted national survey and find out exactly what the most popular goal is set in the land down under.
Can you hear the thunder? Oh, you better run, you better take cover. Oh.
The dawn of a new year brings with it a sense of hope and renewal. And for many, that means making a promise to themselves to achieve a certain goal or change a bad habit. Whether it's quitting smoking, taking up a new hobby, or landing a dream job, New Year's resolutions are a potential way to take control of our lives and strive for a better version of ourselves. Or are they? 74% of the country set a New Year's resolution this year, but as we all know, making a resolution is the easy part. It's sticking to it that's the real challenge. Surveys show half of all goal setters have quit by the time April comes around, and only 6% are actually still going at it 12 months later. So what's the most popular ones for this year? Let's find out. Starting us off at number 10, volunteering. What better way to kick off the new year by volunteering to help your community or a favourite cause? Tens of thousands of Aussies volunteer on a regular basis in roles such as manning the Lifeline crisis telephone lines that help those that are in the midst of a mental crisis. We have an army of volunteer bushfire brigades all across the country who are the backbone of combating Australia's deadly summer bushfire seasons each year. Maybe you'd like to volunteer with the RSPCA and help to end animal cruelty, or get involved with Vinnies and their clothing and support for those less fortunate. There are literally thousands of opportunities out there to choose from. Up next at number 9, renovating the house. Got a big project around the house that you've been putting off? This could be your year. Never mind the fact that we're currently going through a cost of living crisis. The cost of a full house renovation in Australia can range anywhere from $40,000 to $300,000 and beyond. There's a trade-off between doing it yourself and hiring a professional, as labour costs can vary between $50 to $150 an hour or more. Some of the most popular renovations are bathrooms, outdoor kitchens, fencing, and landscaping. TV shows such as The Block also go a long way to inspire some creation at home. At number 8, work less and have a better work-life balance. Now, I personally love this one. As someone who gave up a 60-hour-a-week corporate grind 18 months ago, I know exactly how you feel in this respect. I'll admit, we do actually have it pretty good in Australia though. 4 weeks of annual leave, 2 weeks of sick leave, long service leave, paid parental leave, etc. But it's great to see that Aussies still know what is more important in life, and that is not having the life sucked out of you by some massive corporation who think of you as easily replaceable. Keeping the right balance between your personal life and work life is a constant balancing act, and last year's survey shows the best country in the world for this was our Kiwi cousins in New Zealand. Australia ranked at number 8, with the United States at number 55. Not all that far away from the worst country in the world, Nigeria. On to number 7, and it's being more sustainable. From having multiple garbage bins to sort your recycling and green waste from, to solar energy schemes and community gardens, Australia offers plenty of opportunities for those wanting to take care of the environment. More than 65% of Aussies are concerned about their own personal carbon footprint and ensuring resources are available for future generations. There are some big ticket items here too. There's been a growing call for land management to be given back to Indigenous leaders, particularly after the 2019 bushfires that caused such catastrophic damage. Then there's the Great Barrier Reef, one of the most biodiverse ecosystems in the world, which has lost half of its coral since 1995 due to acidification and reef erosion. It's not only individuals who are trying to make a difference, with many industries and corporate leaders transitioning to more sustainable ways to grow and conduct business. Sorry. Number 6, sleep more. Up to 40% of Australians experience inadequate sleep and 15% of people suffer from chronic insomnia. So how do you sleep at night? Getting enough sleep is crucial for our overall well-being. As a country, we spend over $66 billion a year on health-related issues due to sleep distress, and it's not only adults. 50% of teenagers are not getting the recommended 8 to 10 hours of sleep on a school night. This lack of sleep then leads to increased risk of heart disease and diabetes. So what's keeping us awake? Work stress and a hectic schedule was listed very high, as was having poor sleeping environments due to noise or it being too hot or too cold. The use of technology is also there, with it having an even bigger effect on younger sleepers. The scariest statistic out of all of this, 29% of people report driving exhausted at least once a month, with many of them having micro sleeps whilst they're behind the wheel. It's on to number 5 we go, traveling overseas. We're everywhere. Anywhere you go in the world, no matter how far-flung or obscure, you can guarantee that somewhere you'll run into another Aussie traveller. We've all got stories. Now, I was sitting on a bus in the Bahamas once and I overheard an Aussie talking in the row in front of me. We are fortunate to live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, but still Australians love to travel. We're known worldwide for it. It's in our blood, it's part of our DNA. There's a few reasons for this. Our generous annual leave time, which gives us the ability to fly to the other side of the world and not lose too many days. The fact that many Aussies have family overseas, or long ties to the UK, or being from a family of immigrants, it all just instills a want to explore, to get out and see the world. So where do we go to the most? Auckland, New Zealand. It's the number 1 destination for Aussie travellers, followed by, surprise, surprise, Bali, and then that long haul trek to London is number 3. Number 4 on our list, not having any resolutions. Yep, I'm in this club too this year. A resolution to have no resolutions. This was number 1 for boomers and older respondents to the survey. I'm not a boomer, by the way. I guess after so many years of failing to meet the expectations of the resolution, they've just decided to give up, or make one that they can actually attain. Psychologists say that setting goals for some can actually undermine their efforts or even cause harm, and that focusing on a single goal can lead people to engage in unethical or extreme behaviours. On to number 3, lose weight. Now this would have to be one of the most popular resolutions all around the world. And I'm sure that either yourself or someone you know has set this one more than just a few times too. 1 in 3 Australians are technically obese, and like most of the world, it's been a growing problem since the 1970s. That's when the Australian government came out with the well-known Life, Be In It campaign, featuring Norm.
I'd balance the 5 cakes and the 3 hot dogs on this side. Oh, I feel crook. Better have another cake.
And you shouldn't eat too much either, or you'll get fat, like Norm.
Who are you calling fat?
You.
Oh.
Weight loss drugs and miracle cures have long been sought after, and the current trend sees prescription drugs like Ozempic and Trulicity being used to cut the kilos, leading to global shortages and having effects on diabetics who also use it to control blood sugar. The best ways to lose weight effectively still remain the old-fashioned though, of watching what you eat and living an active lifestyle with regular exercise. We move on to number 2, improving fitness. Ever wanted to have that killer six-pack or start training for a half marathon? New Year's is a popular time to make this one the big goal. It's recommended that adults get at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate physical exercise each week. Jogging, cycling, hiking, or swimming are all great activities to get out there and get active. Team sports are also a great way to exercise and socialise at the same time, whether that be Aussie rules or cricket or netball. Then you have the gym, where more than half of Australians say they prefer to get their exercise in. Physical activity has a positive effect on mental health too, a growing area of concern all across the country. We have arrived at the number 1 New Year's resolution in Australia: eat healthier. Almost 40% of people surveyed listed this as their goal for the new year. So what does it mean? A healthy diet does not need to be complicated. Eat foods from the 5 food groups every day in the correct amounts and drink plenty of H2O. It's also advisable to only occasionally have alcohol, fast food, sugar, or soft drinks. Adults should be eating at least 2 servings of fruit per day and 5 to 6 servings of vegetables. Now, fruit, I'm good with, but I can't say I've ever had that many vegetables in one day. There is currently a push in Australia to ban the advertising of unhealthy food and drink, with South Australia implementing a ban on public transport advertising as of July 2025. Government overreach, the right call? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you think of that one. Did you make it through this video and still have a New Year's resolution in place? If so, how can you make it past the first month or 2 of the year? The top tips are to be specific in your goal setting, be consistent, and forgive yourself for missing a step or 2. And lastly, take it 1 step at a time. You can't go from 0 to hero straight away. Whether it's taking control of our health, pursuing a passion, or simply becoming a better version of ourselves, resolutions have the power to shape our lives in profound ways. Now, if you're feeling inspired to share your own New Year's resolutions with me, please leave them in the comments below. And I'll catch you next time on From Down Under to Down South. Hooroo, mateys.